Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing another audio commentary, and if you guys notice my voice and my volume slightly low, and you notice that I'm not as loud as I normally can be, that is because it is 2:30 AM right now in Dublin, Ireland, and Mrs. Klazart is asleep upstairs, and should I commit the catastrophic error of disturbing her slumber, Durga's righteous vengeance herself will descend upon me, and I will be ultralisk rushed like nobody else's business. But this is the OSL Round of 16 Day 2 that I'm commenting on. I'm really looking forward to these games. The first game is going to be between Flash and Yrnc, and these games were played a couple of days ago on Friday. I haven't seen them before. I gotta tell you, I like the swimming pro gamers intro. It's pretty cool. This is the Round of 16. I gotta tell you guys that for me, the Round of 16 really is where some of the most exciting StarCraft happens, because you get these wonderful groups of 4 after the selection ceremonies, and you just get some fantastic pairings, and you really get a high level of play, which often cannot be the case in the round of 32, simply because getting into the round of 32 can be a little bit hit or miss, and sometimes you get players in there who aren't really up to challenge the big players and challenge the top players, and therefore you get some very one-sided matches, some very boring matches, and which is why you might see me sometimes taking long hiatuses in between games, and it's not because I lose interest, it's just simply because I have other things to do, and the games themselves sometimes aren't as exciting, although you sometimes see some fantastic games of StarCraft in the round of 32 as well. But there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a good game of StarCraft. This is Yrnc versus Flash, and this is going to be on Heartbreak Ridge, and really, as far as matchups go, it doesn't get much more balanced than this. In theory, you would guess that Flash should be the favorite, right? But if you actually look at the statistics, Flash has got a 65% approximately win rate versus Zerg, which is ironically his lowest. I say ironically because 65% win rate versus Terran is Yrnc's best matchup. So Flash, a 65% win rate cannot qualify as a weak matchup, but arguably it's his weakest matchup. 65% win rate versus Terran is crazy as well. For Yrnc, but I'm surprised to see when I actually looked at the stats that was his lowest, that was his highest matchup. I would have thought that 65%, and it just kind of shows you why I guess Yrnc is not considered to be an S-class player, why he's not considered to be in the big leagues. And really, Yrnc, with everything to prove here in this matchup, he will be the player who will be the hungriest for this victory, hungriest for Flash's scalp, although I think we would be fair to admit that Flash's scalp doesn't have the same value that it had a couple of seasons ago when he was destroying everybody. He hasn't been as consistent of late, and I'm sure he would be eager to regain his form as well. But Yrnc, on the other hand, he's got a lot to prove. He's been around the scene for a while. He's been a player who's shown a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but he just doesn't seem to be able to raise his game in the big matches to be able to get past that hurdle and win lots of Star Leagues. And until he starts doing that and performing consistently at the highest level, he's not going to be able to establish his name up there with July and Savior and Jaedong, and I'm sure that's what he's aiming for. Flash, on the other hand, is the player that I kind of most want to see do well in the Star Leagues, because he really reminds me of Boxer. He's the prodigal son, as it were. Even though Fantasy is supposedly Boxer's protege, for me, Flash is a player that most reminds me of Boxer's style of play, simply because of his ability to pull out crazy strategies and victories from the most ludicrous of situations. Meanwhile, Flash sending his SCV out to scout, started up his Racks and Refinery, and some fantastic art there by the Korean fans, and Bisu lookalike with some fantastic art. I wish I could read Korean, guys. That would be cool. I'm sure whatever he's written is hilarious. But yeah, this is Heartbreak Ridge. It's being played on, and just for reminder, Flash at the 10 o'clock position in what looks like orange, and Yrnc is in white at the 3 o'clock position. Flash is mining away from that gas. Yrnc now taking... Yrnc, I think, has gone for a 12 pool build. Sorry to mention that earlier, and straight away getting to lair. He's gone for a 12 pool build, and it looks like he's going for a 2-hatch build. And Flash, meanwhile, has walled off, put a supply depot down. I wonder whether it's because he's trying to hide a tech, or whether he's going to try and put a fast command center down behind that choke and lift it up. But he's walled off the choke to his natural. He's only produced the 1 Marine. There is that Overlord there hovering above, so Yrnc knows exactly what Flash is up to, and the Yrnc has gone, and perhaps that is why Yrnc has chosen not to put the 3rd hatchery down, because he sees an opportunity here to put some pressure on his opponent early on. He's got that Overlord in play. He's seen exactly what his opponent is up to, although he might be wondering whether his opponent is trying to sneak some tech behind that, maybe put a second bunker down and make for that +1 upgrade, fast marine push, put an engineering bay down. I haven't seen Flash put that second second racks. I haven't seen Flash put that second racks down. He's indeed going for a factory, but he's not mining gas. Flash is not mining gas, and that suggests to me that we are potentially seeing a fast expand here from Flash. Meanwhile, Lair almost up for Yrnc, building straight away. Flash sending Zerglings around to scout all of the map in case there's some sort of proxy or hidden buildings from Flash, just to try and detect and get a handle on exactly what his opponent is doing so he can be prepared for it. Zergling coming up, but not going to be able to get past that supply depot, obviously. Maybe he hoped there might have been an opening or something there. Flash does have that factory up. He's now back to mining gas. I haven't seen him start up that command center as yet, though, and Yrnc, meanwhile, has finished his lair. He's already got his spire going, and so he's going for a 2-hatchery build. And Flash, indeed, with the command center now going down. So Flash is fast expanding. Yrnc, I'm sure, is going to be aware of this with that overlord well positioned, and Flash was just basically blocking his choke there to get himself the time to get that vulture out, to make sure that any early pressure from Yrnc would not hurt him. And I think that Flash could potentially be in a little bit of trouble here because he hasn't yet gotten that. I don't think he's actually seen that spire. I think actually I think he didn't get an SCV in Yrnc's space, so he might have seen that spire. But he doesn't have an engineering bay up as yet, so if he did see that spire, and he's only now getting that SCV in Yrnc's space, so Flash is now seeing the 2-hatch spire build from Yrnc, and he's gonna be a little bit late in his defense. He's got that armory up though. He's building a starport, but he's only got the one factory, obviously, and I think he's also starting up an engineering bay. Yes, he is. He's just about starting up his engineering bay. So Flash really realizes that there's a potential for him to take a lot of damage here. Yrnc with the one sunken up, obviously he didn't know what Flash was building behind that supply depot. It could have been fast vultures or something, and that's why he wanted to get that sunken up, just to be sure, because even a couple of vultures, if they get in behind your lines, past the choke points, they can just completely destroy you, especially with the macro of the caliber of a player like Flash has. Flash putting that starport up as well. He realizes that he's going to need every last ounce of anti-air to defend against this attack from Yrnc, and this game is going to be decided on this point, guys. It's going to be decided on whether or not Yrnc can be effective. If Flash can somehow hold his defense, Flash now getting those turrets up, could we be seeing some brilliant timing from Flash, or is his timing going to be just a little bit too late? He's got the Goliath out. He's now building turrets all over the place, building a bunker as well, but those Mutalisks are heading his way. I don't think he's got a turret complete, and I don't think he's going to have enough turrets up in time, and Yrnc might be able to just wield horrible destruction upon Flash right now. Flash going for this fast expand build. Yrnc coming in with the Mutalisks. The turrets are starting to go up. He's got a Goliath in play as well. The turrets are up. Yrnc with only the 6 Mutalisks, remember, and Flash has now got the Wraith up as well, but he's defending desperately. Goliath being chased down. Flash trying to repair it. The Goliath goes down, and now his mineral. Another Goliath comes out. Yrnc immediately focuses it. Flash tries to repair it with the SCVs. Flash bringing a lot of SCVs, but the Goliath does get taken down, and now Flash's economy is exposed to Yrnc's Mutalisks. Flash's soft underbelly is exposed, and Yrnc ain't going to be able to stick the knife in. More Mutalisks coming in for Yrnc, and Yrnc is going to be able to take this game, guys. The Flash is really struggling. He might be pretty good science vessel. He's got the control tower. He's got a Valkyrie out as well. Valkyrie being focused. Flash trying to get the Valkyrie into safety. He's trying to pull it back and repair it with the SCVs. Flash trying to repair it, but it takes it down. He loses the Valkyrie as well, and Flash doesn't have his defense. And meanwhile, he's got another Goliath out, but Yrnc is not letting Flash build up any forces while continuing to build up his Mutalisk force. He's picking off Flash's units as they pop out one by one, and Flash just hasn't been able to get that critical mass. And Yrnc with a brilliant strategy here, really. Once he saw that supply depot, he knew what Flash was going for. He read his mind, and he anticipated it perfectly. He knew that Flash was probably going for a fast expand, and he stuck to the 2-hatch lair. He went for the 2-hatch spire build, 2-hatch mutas, and just completely caught Flash off guard. And Flash, there was no need for him to do that, really. There was no need. He was trying to give himself an advantage with that early strategy, and it failed horribly for him. Yrnc takes a scalp. Yrnc takes a victory, and I don't know why Flash persists with these kind of fast expands when he doesn't need to. And he really left himself at the mercy of his opponent there. Yrnc, especially since he went for... If Yrnc had perhaps gone for a 9-pool or an overpool build, we might have seen something different. I think we have seen some 9-pools by Zergs on Heartbreak Ridge, and I think that's what Flash was hoping for, because his base was set up to defend against a potential 9-pool. And if Yrnc had gone for 9-pool, then Flash would probably have been in a good position to defend against it, and then be in a good position to hold him off afterwards. But as it is, he's lost the game. He's gone, guys. So... I think we could probably give Yrnc a lot of credit for his adaptation there. If that wasn't his plan all along, he certainly adapted very quickly and delivered the perfect counter-strike to Flash's build. Well played, Yrnc. This is KlazartSC, guys. Thanks for listening.